What's up guys, Mrevil is here, and I'm assuming you're done grinding pinnacle gear, done grinding Season of Arrivals weapons, done grinding rays, and you got nothing left to do in Destiny 2. Well, if that's the case, why not do the solo flawless version of Pit of Heresy dungeon for this sick ass emblem? Today we'll talk about the strategy and the loadout you're gonna want to use for completing solo flawless version of Pit of Heresy dungeon on the moon. I'm assuming most of you already know how to complete Pit of Heresy dungeon normally, so I'm not gonna explain mechanics in this guide, only strategy and loadouts to get you through the solo flawless. And let me tell you, just it is really easy. It's not really as hard as it used to be when the shadowkeep first came out, you know, with these power levels and with these exotics, all the new meta. I think this is fairly easy and I think everyone can do this. So if you're wondering what are the rewards for this challenge, you're gonna get the Crimson Echoes emblem, which looks amazing, one of the favorite emblems in the game, and you're also gonna get this triumph called Savior of the Deep, which allows you 300 triumph points, which is pretty neat if you're collecting triumphs. Now that we're done with rewards, I wanna tell you that I know that there is lots of Pit of Heresy solo flawless guides on YouTube, but the reason I'm making this video is because none of these guys are made in Season of Arrivals. Like 90% of these guys were made in Shadowkeep, and Shadowkeep released more than 1 year ago, and a lot of things changed in Destiny since then. So this guy is gonna cover Pit of Heresy solo flawless guide with Season of Arrivals meta. Now feel free to take some popcorn, sit back and relax, and let's get into this guide. First things first, I highly recommend you using Warlock's Middle Tree Downblade subclass for this guide, and since the super and abilities are useful through the whole dungeon, pick any grenade you're comfortable with. It doesn't really matter as long as you got the middle tree equipped. I highly recommend Healing Rift or Empowering Rift since it can come in clutch lots of times. For the jump, I recommend you using Balance Glide because it just works the best way, I guess, in PvE. Now let's move on to the loadout, armor and mods. There is really nothing complicated here, just make sure you have at least 2 minor mods and 2 major mods, and there is few important mods. However, first one is taking charge. You're gonna need this one to become charged with light by picking up orbs of light. This happens all the time, so it really shouldn't be a problem to have 2 stacks of charged with light almost all the time on you. Next mod is Protective Light. You get significant damage resistance when your shield is destroyed, so this only works with Charge with Light, so the more stacks of Charge with Light you have, the longer this perk lasts. So yeah, you must have Charge with Light to actually have the Protective Light, if you don't know already. Next must have mods are Hive Armaments and Hive Barrier, and Hive Armaments give you heavy ammo every time you kill a Hive enemy with the grenade. So with this one you'll never run out of heavy ammo, and Hive Barrier mod reduces hive damage by 20% for 10 seconds after getting hit by hive enemy. So you got 2 very important and very useful mods in here. It may be a problem if you don't already have them. I believe you can get them from Crown of Sorrow raid, but I think you can still complete it if you don't have these mods. Honestly, that's all the mods you're gonna need. For the remaining mod slots, feel free to add anything you like. Heavy ammo, special ammo, scavengers always come in handy though. Now speaking of weapons, for the first encounter you can use anything you're comfortable with, both in kinetic and energy slot, but for the heavy slot, make sure to equip the Falling Guillotine Sword, just so you can wipe out the big knights easily. And for the first encounter, I'm using Breachlight with Demolitionist, absolutely amazing weapon with amazing perk, so feel free to use any weapon, but my recommendation is weapon with Demolitionist perk, so you get your nades quickly. And if you don't play Warlock and if you got Middle Tree Solar subclass equipped, holding grenade buttons L1 on PS4 in this case lets you empower your grenade, which can kill you when you run over it, so it's pretty useful. There really isn't no specific strategy for the first encounter. Do everything as you do normally, but just try playing slower and safer. Kill all the enemies at the entrance, kill a knight, get his sword, kill the big guy, slow and safe. Feel free to use your super in this encounter whenever you wanna, because since there is no DPS phase in this one, so yeah, just play it slowly. Once you kill all 3 big guys, head to the middle room and head to the Ogre's maze. For the Ogre's encounter, there is again no specific strategy, just do it as you would normally. However, if you wanna play it safer, You can duplicate the orbs yellow bar enemies drop you by pressing and holding square button and triangle button on PS4 at the same time when you're depositing the orb, right? I personally like doing this part without duplicating glitch because I just want to run away into the caves as soon as I can before Ogre can seize me. And I just like to clear out those caves just so I can be safe inside of them. Do this part as you will normally, but alone. Also, if you don't know the maze well, there's a map of encounter you can find on the internet. It showcases all the mazes, all the caves and the doors, so everything you need. Moving on to the next encounter, absolutely have your well equipped and make sure your super is full when starting this encounter. I usually like to do this encounter the following way. Kill the first few enemies around the throne in the middle, charge it up a little and wait until the big knight that drops you the orb comes close in the room. Once the knight is close enough, kill him, get the orb and stand inside the circle for a few seconds, like only a second or two, just to charge it up a bit. You can drop the orb and put the well right near the door where you deposit the orb. But be careful when dropping the orb since it can roll down. I do this encounter by duplicating the orb, duplicate it a few times and exploding trial will come. Feel free to drop the orb and kill the enemies at a safe distance so they can't explode and kill you. But make sure to do this fast enough because well lasts around roughly 25 seconds I believe, and just deposit the orb few more times and you're done. Well of Radiance lasts 25 seconds and that's more than enough to deposit the orb 5 times if you know how to duplicate it. I suggest you practicing orb duplication bleach before you go for a solo flawless run. It shouldn't take you so long to get hang of it. Long story short, practice orb duplication glitch, be fast when duplicating the orbs and make sure cursed trolls don't get too close to you so they can't kill you. Moving on to the jumping puzzle encounter, same setup should do just fine in here, and there is nothing much to talk about this encounter since it is pretty straightforward and fairly simple. Try getting to know the map of the encounter, also try avoiding these trap tools around the map since they can one-shot you, and trust me, you don't want that to happen because it is so annoying. And try avoiding them as much as you can. Feel free to go around them because you got as much time as you need in this encounter, so just play it safe and jump slowly and kill every enemy you see just to make sure you're safe. There shouldn't be too many ads in this encounter except for the ones that spawn around the wizards, so pretty straightforward encounter. Just practice a bit of jumping. If you don't know the map of this encounter, you can look it up on the internet. It's fairly simple, like it shouldn't take you so long to complete it. But yeah, once you completed the jumping puzzle, it's time for the boss fight and claim your solo flawless triumph and emblem. Same setup works for this one. As for the tactic, I suggest you to play it without orb duplication glitch, play it legit, slowly and carefully. This is the order of the actions I do when playing this encounter solo. So first things first, get in the arena, make sure you rally the flag so your ammo and super is ready to go. Kill the big yellow bar knight, get his sword and kill the shrieker as soon as you can, since shrieker can shoot you across the map and that's pretty tricky. Once you kill the shrieker, kill all the little enemies you see wandering around the map. Pick up the orb that shrieker dropped and deposit it in one of the deposit locations around the boss circle. Preferably choose the one where you see the least enemies, the one without big knights around them, and the one where the boss won't be able to stomp and throw you off the map because that's annoying as hell, believe me. Once you successfully deposited the first orb, kill the little guys that spawn, kill the yellow bar knight, take his sword and head on to the mini boss knight in one of the towers. Kill the enemies around him so it's only you 1 versus 1 with him. Take the sword and take him down. He can two-shot you, so be cautious with that one. Block his wings with your sword, jump around to dodge his hits and wait for the super ability on your sword to charge because it deals a massive damage. So simply take your time and finish him, take the orb and do the same thing with the orb. Find the sweet spot and deposit it. After that, another wave of odds will spawn, kill them all, kill the yellow bar knight and get his sword, head on to the wizard's temple and start the encounter with him. Firstly, kill all the small eyes around him and go for him. Be cautious though since he can deal a serious damage to you. My advice is to have your healing rift ready as well as your grenade so you can heal yourself if you need to. Also wait until he is done with his attack and then strike him. One more tip I can give you is that you can actually shoot him without exposing yourself to his attacks by standing right next to the wall and shooting him with your sword ability. This ability actually tracks enemies, so make sure you killed all the small ads so the ability can track the wizard himself and damage him. Once you've done that, get the orb, do the same thing, find the sweet spot and deposit it, and now's the time for the damage phase. phase, get your well ready, get right to the boss, put your well down, and just do as much damage as you can with your sword. Be cautious of the cursed troll that spawn. Once you see them, just kill them as fast as you can and continue the damage phase. Once you see the boss kneeling on the ground with his sword in the ground, it's time to stop damaging him and get out of the damage circle to safety. You'll have a few seconds to get out of the circle, so the time shouldn't be the problem here. Repeat the whole process until you successfully kill the boss. I believe you can kill him in like 2 phases, but it's a bit tricky and you must like do the damage a bit longer in the circle, so I advise you to go to the 3 phases just to play it safely, you know. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to complete this solo flawless dungeon because a lot of things got nerfed, a lot of things got buffed, and a lot of meta changed, so I think it's fairly easy in that everyone can do this solo flawless. If you guys want to see the Prophecy solo flawless guy, make sure to comment down below, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. Anyways, it's Mrevil, I'll see you guys next video, peace out.